What is up, y'all? So if you watched last week's video, you know that I did not have an outro because I was not planning on making two different parts. I was just gonna make one long video, but it ended up being longer than I anticipated. So that just means that I don't have an intro for this video. So consider this the intro. Okay, that's it. There were two other times that I was home by myself and I was hanging out in my room. I remember like hearing noises in the basement and I was like, what the hell? So I called my mom and I was like, did you leave yet? And she was like, yeah, I left like a long time ago. And I was like, that's not cute. The fuck? Okay, well, I hear something and my dogs again react to it and they like run to the basement door. I was so scared that my bitch ass, I grabbed a hoop earring. My weapon of choice, y'all, was a hoop earring. And I fully convinced myself like, yo, I could really do damage with this hoop earring. Like, let a bitch try me. And I'm swinging, I'm gonna poke you so hard in the eye that you're gonna be blind for life. I wish you would. Yeah, you weren't gonna do shit with this bitch. You know how like people have like fight or flight reflexes? I have neither. My reaction when I'm scared is to do one of these. So yeah, I just called my mom and told her and she ended up just coming home. There was also another time that I was home alone and at this time, one of my dogs had passed away, so it was just me and my one dog. My parents were out of the country this time. I was on the first floor, so like pretty close to the basement, and I started hearing noises in the basement and it sounded like boxes were being moved, but we didn't have boxes, so like, I mean, even if we had boxes, like, who's moving them? We didn't have like rats or mice or anything. Like, we never, living in the woods was like kind of like low-key fine because we didn't have like infestation of bugs or animals. Like, our house was pretty like clean. But this time it's like 2016, so your girl got cameras. We had cameras inside the house and outside the house. So I go to like the screen where all of our cameras are normally, and it's disconnected. Yeah, it's just a black screen. I can't see anything. And I had been checking, like the cameras were working throughout this like week. And for some reason, when I'm hearing stuff and I wanna go see what the frick it is, the cameras don't work. So I call my neighbor and I'm like, girl, I'm scared. I would like to leave here. I was like, but I have my dog, and I had a boxer, so they're pretty big, pretty heavy. And her husband was always doing construction, like renovating their house. She was like, ooh, I have to call him and make sure that's okay because she wasn't home. So after she says that, I'm like, if my dog can't go, then like it's fine, but I'm not going. Like, I'm not leaving without my dog. You and me, Rocky, like, we in this shit together, honey. She calls me back and she's like, yeah, he can go over. And I'm like, okay, dope. And I just stayed there until I wasn't scared anymore. Once I felt like safe again, I walked through the woods and I went back home. Another night, I was sleeping in my room. I heard my sister like say my name from her room, and nobody in my family calls me Selena. They all call me Nina. So she was like, Nina. I was like, what? And it's just like silent. So I was thinking that she had came home like from the city and she was just visiting, like she was surprising me. But I was so tired because it was in the middle of the night that I was just like, whatever, like I'll go to her room tomorrow when I wake up. So sure enough, I wake up to go to school the next morning and I go into her room and she's not there, and her bed is made like nothing had been touched. And I was like, what the? So I went downstairs to my mom and I'm like, did Sam come home last night or was she here? And she was like, no. I was like, here we go again with the bullshit. I was like, okay, cool. Like, I heard her call my name, and the fact that she said my nickname and not like the name that my friends would have called me or like other people would have called me, it was like a personal name, and it was her voice, and it was very friendly actually. She didn't sound angry at all. It was like Nina, like she wanted me to like go to her room, like to go see her. That's freaking weird. It's just really sketchy that whoever this presence, spirit, whatever was, that they would impersonate someone close to me. Not too long after that happened, it was again around the same time in the middle of the night, I heard my dad coming upstairs because, like I said, he used to go to bed like late at night, technically early in the morning, and I heard his footsteps coming up the stairs, and sometimes he would use like his phone light to get into my room because he didn't want to like turn my light on and wake me up, so he would just use his phone. I wake up when I hear the footsteps, and I hear it coming like slowly, and then it finally gets to my door, and I see like a light come into my room, and I was facing my wall, my back was facing my door. So once I saw the light shine in and like leave, I like turned around to see like if he was there, and he wasn't. And it was just silent, like it stopped at my door and that was it. So I'm like, if he would have walked like past my door like and was going to his room, like I would have heard his footsteps going to his room, but it literally stopped at my door and then the light came in. So when this happened, I froze. Like, I don't know if this is a form of like sleep paralysis. I don't know too much about sleep paralysis, but I literally felt paralyzed and my body was stuck in like this weird position, and I just started crying, and it wasn't even crying with like I wasn't even moving. It was like my face was stuck like this, and like tears were just coming down with like a still face because I was so scared. I couldn't scream, I couldn't move, I was like stuck there. So I just remember like praying to God, like, please, whatever this is, take it away, because I'm actually scared right now. Like, I'm so scared to the point that I'm crying, and I never, like, of all of these things that have happened, I don't think I ever cried. Like, sometimes I would get scared, sometimes I wouldn't, but I would never cry. This time I was like, holy shit, like I am scared. This is the second time that it's happening in the middle of the night. It's the second time that they're kind of like impersonating someone. So I think it's someone close to me, and I'm kind of like being open because I think it's my dad or I think it's my sister, and it turns out that it's like, it's not either of them. So I think that's what was getting to me. And so after I prayed and I was like, please, like I just want to fall asleep. I don't even want to be awake right now. I just want to go to sleep. And I fell asleep, and I woke up and I wasn't scared anymore. That was a weird night. That's all I gotta say, a weird ass night. I'm sorry, I'm scared. So these stories were more like a couple of years ago, like 3 years ago, within a 3-year span. So a little bit more recent than the other ones. So I went to this lake with my friend, and we were driving home, and I needed like the GPS because I didn't really know my way to get home. And we're talking, we're like having conversation, and the GPS like makes a direction, like makes a demand, and I didn't hear what she said. And like I can't remember like the exact words that she said, but let's just say that she was telling me to like make a right. And so I'm saying to my friend, I'm like, wait, what did she say? I didn't hear what she said. And my GPS, this bitch dead ass, was like, I said make a fucking right. Y'all, I'm not kidding. Like, this shit happened. And so when I tell you, my friend and I just paused, like, we just, like, our jaws dropped, and I stopped driving in the middle of the freaking road. I didn't even pull over yet. In the middle of the road, I stopped. And I'm like, did you just hear that? And he's like this. And I'm like, no, till this moment, I'm still like, what the hell was that? Like, we both heard that shit. So I'm like, I need to pull over. Like, I can't even drive right now because I'm so like I'm trying to process this. So I pull over, and he's just still like holding his face, and his eyes just start to water, and I'm like, and he's like, Selena, she dead ass just said make a f***ing right. Like, that's not funny.
Cut the cameras. Dead ass.
It's not funny, but like, I need to laugh so that I don't cry, because this is just so, it's just so crazy. Like, it sounds like it's made up, but I swear it's not. And like, a GPS is not supposed to do that, all right? A GPS, I could have sued her ass for being disrespectful to a client. That was just like, I'm so happy that someone else was there to hear it with me. Like, we did not miss that. She said what she said, and she meant what she said. Okay. And now these two stories I was not present for. They're things that happened to my mom once I moved out of the house, but still, same house, same freaky bullshit. She's like laying in bed, and she said that she was like, she's kind of like dozing off, but she wasn't asleep. Like, she was awake. It was one of those like mid sleeps where you can hear what's going on, but you're like kind of not paying attention until someone says something that like grabs your attention. So she's like laying down, and she said that she heard like someone ran like from her door. She heard like the footsteps from her door run to her bed, and she said that she woke up like panicked. She thought somebody was like standing over her because she literally heard the footsteps. What is it with these damn footsteps? Like, I do this as like a nervous tick. Yeah. And then another thing that happened to her after I moved out was that she was downstairs, like on the first floor, and she heard this like loud crash come from upstairs. So she went upstairs to go see what it was, and she went in all the bedrooms, and like nothing had fallen or anything. So she goes to her room, and she's checking her room to make sure there was nothing, and she hears it again, but this time it was like from my room. Like, she knew for sure it came from my room. She said it was a loud crash. So she goes to my room, and there's nothing there. Like, nothing's on the floor, nothing fell. It was just like my room looked untouched. And so my mom, being the Puerto Rican bad bitch she is, she's like, whoever this is, get the out of my house. From then on, she hasn't, nothing has happened. This was like last year, so I guess within the year, like nothing crazy has happened. But it's not even crazy, but the only thing that happened once I moved out was in my dorm room. This was like the first time I think ever that my roommate left, and she went back to Texas to see her family. And I remember waking up in the middle of the night and just feeling like pressure on me, like just don't turn around. Like, something was telling me like, just don't turn around, just don't turn around. Like, there's something at the door. Like, I can just feel it. Like, there's something standing at the door, and I was again like paralyzed, like I couldn't move. And I just did my whole and I fell asleep. And when I woke back up, I felt like, I don't know what any of this stuff means. I don't know who it is or what it is or why they're doing what they're doing. It's just, I have a lot of unanswered questions, a lot of things that are like just unexplained. So if you're into this stuff, if you have any answers, if you know the meaning of certain things, I would love to talk about it. So let me know in the comments, or just hit me up, because I would love to have conversations about this. Like, I just think it's so weird. Is it a gift? Because I'm scared. That is all for today. I'm sure as time goes on, I would have other freaky, weird stories to share. I'm sure I'll keep experiencing little things, and eventually I can make another scary video. Please give this video a thumbs up. Please subscribe to my channel. Hit the little bell thingy so that you know when I post. I'm gonna try to post every Thursday. I'm gonna try to post weekly, I promise. I promise. Yeah, hopefully I will see y'all next week.
So tell me, have you seen her? Let me wrap my weave up. I'm the trap Selena. Dame más gasolina.